If you've ever seen the miniseries The Pacific, you know that one of the characters is Robert Leckie. If you haven't watched the series, you should. You really should. It's a good series. I picked up the book Helmet for My Pillow From Paris Island to the Pacific by Robert Leckie because I was hoping that I could actually get something out of it for my research on Commandant Clifton Cates, but unfortunately, yeah, no, it wasn't in this book. He gives nicknames instead of names. And on top of the fact of that, while it is an interesting book, actually I loved the book, I just didn't have that kind of research in it, but it was well worth the read. It gave me a feeling for what it was to be a Marine during World War II, gave me a feeling for what these men went through on these islands that nobody had heard of, and some of them to this day people have never heard of. And I really do think that people should read this just to know what these men and women went through during one of the worst wars that this world has ever seen. So I reviewed it, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit here. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. This book has just the way that Leckie is able to paint a picture. And even though he wasn't a college graduate at this point, don't even think he'd gone to college at this point. The man showed that education back then was so much better than what it is today, and the way he paints the picture of what was going on. I think people should read the book just for that fact. I mean, when you get done reading it, you're like, holy cow, it this is what they went through. Some of it's kind of boredom, some of it's insanity of combat. It's just an amazing look into the mind of the people that were having to fight these battles. And I mean, these people put their lives on the line. And people will tell you, oh, it was for oil and everything. Not for the U.S. The U.S. was honest. They got attacked. They went after the people that attacked them. They went after others that were taking away the freedoms and lives of so many. And these men and women that fought and worked for our military and everything, life was stressful. I mean, they didn't know when they were going to die. Robert Leckie left the U.S. and didn't come back home for around 3 years. Think about that. He left home and didn't come back for 3 years. And he had to deal with not knowing whether he would make it back home. This is the mindset of these people, and I think it would change so many people's minds about what went on back then. You know, the new liberal way of going, oh, well, these were bad people because look at this scandal and that scandal. No, these weren't bad people. There were people that did stupid shit. But this book shows what the mind was of these people that were fighting for not just our freedom, but for the freedom of people all over the world. Oh, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, comment. And I've got a link tree down below that's got my social media, and it has my Patreon if you want to help out. Thank y'all. So, I say you should read this book. This book is amazing from all kinds of perspectives. Maybe I'm a little biased because it's written by a Marine and I'm a jarhead my dang self. This is a good book. It really is. It gets you in the mind. It describes what was going on. It describes some of the insanity. One of my favorite things was when one of the Marines got fed up with this plane, and he got out there with the 30 cal automatic weapon and let loose and almost died because of it. But this is the kind of thing that went on back then, and these men were frustrated. When you're talking about Guadalcanal, you're talking about they went on that island with very little preparation, barely got the supplies they needed, and were in a desperate situation, but they still held out. They still won. People should read that. Just read this book just for that, to learn what it takes to really succeed. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.